ishtirokidagi O'zbekiston binolari uchun toza energiya loyihasi 2023-yil 30-martda O'zbekiston Respublikasi Prezidentining Jahon banki ishtirokidagi O'zbekiston binolari uchun toza energiya loyihasini amalga oshirish chora-tadbirlari to'g'risidagi qarori qabul qilindi. Loyihaning asosiy maqsadi O'zbekiston bo'ylab ijtimoiy soha obyektlarining energiya samaradorligini oshirish va binolar sektoriga toza energiya investitsiyalari uchun normativ-huquqiy bazani mustahkamlashga qaratilgan. Loyiha orqali qishloq va shaharlarda joylashgan Maktabgacha va Maktab ta'limi vazirligi, Sog'liqni saqlash vazirligiga qarashli muassasalarda rekonstruksiya va modernizatsiya ishlarini bajarish orqali energiya samaradorligini oshirish, elektr energiyasi hamda issiqlik energiyasi sarfini tejash, ularni energiya tejaydigan texnologiyalar va qayta tiklanuvchi energiya manbalari qurilmalari bilan ta'minlash belgilangan. Loyiha yordamida bino isitish va sovutish tizimlari zamonaviy texnologiyalar bilan yangilanadi. Mavsumiy barqaror elektr energiyasi hamda issiqlik energiyasi bilan o'zini o'zi ta'minlash imkoniyati yaratiladi. Binoning issiqlik qochiruvchanligi aniqlansa, izolyatsiya qilinadi. Samarasiz oyna romlari yangilanadi. Tom qismi yangilanadi. Yoritish tizimlari yaxshilanadi. Shuningdek, ko'mir qozonlarni issiqlik nasoslari va yoki quyosh kollektorlar bilan o'rnatilgan quyosh elektr panellari kabi qayta tiklanadigan energiya manbalariga almashtiriladi. O'zbekiston binolari uchun toza energiya loyihasi respublikaning barcha hududlarida 2023-2028 yillar mobaynida amalga oshiriladi. Loyihani amalga oshiruvchi tashkilotlar O'zbekiston Respublikasi Energetika vazirligi hamda tarmoqlararo energiyani tejash jamg'armasi hisoblanadi. Shu bilan birga loyihani sifatli va xorijiy tajribalardan kelib chiqib amalga oshirish uchun dastlabki yillarda loyihani boshqarish uchun Turkiyaning nufuzli JV, NKY, V8 Energy va CBM konsorsiumi jalb qilingan. O'zbekiston binolari uchun toza energiya loyihasi amalga oshiriladigan davrda 800 dan ziyod ijtimoiy soha obyektlari energiya samarador qilib rekonstruksiya va modernizatsiya qilinadi. Jumladan, dastlabki yillarda 100 dan ortiq ijtimoiy soha obyektlarida rekonstruksiya ishlari rejalashtirilgan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this event, workshop organized. My name is Yildirim TURKEL. I'm the team leader of the CEBU project in regards to the PMC. Today we are here together with energy audit companies, construction companies, design companies, as well as government officials to discuss and inform you regarding our project, what it is, how it works, what's the mechanism behind it, what's the idea behind it, and also inform you regarding our methods and mechanism as well. So I will briefly tell you about this project, what it is. First, I would like to go over some overview and discuss with you the details. This project is to improve energy efficiency in public buildings, mainly focusing on kindergartens, schools, and hospitals. We are working with the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Health, and Primary Secondary Education in regards to defining the buildings which will be in the project scope, and work for investment-grade energy audits, energy efficient design, technical supervision, construction, commissioning, measurement verification, and I will also explain you how the project actually finances the investments made. This is actually the layout of how the project works. We are working together with the fund as PMC and together with line ministries which will support us in the selection of buildings that will be included in the project scope, and also clean energy companies, consulting and technical service providers, construction companies, which are defined under component 1, I will explain you later, and also the technical assistance to government and project management, because this project has two sides. First, the project within itself, and it's also focusing on forming an energy efficiency market in Uzbekistan. So we are trying to increase the technical capacity of the government and also the private sector. And hopefully by the end of this project, energy efficiency market will be available and fully capable of performing its duties. This is the project life cycle. We are actually start with the application of buildings, and we look for eligibility screening, which is defined under 4 criteria. So the buildings have to be structurally and seismically safe. They shouldn't have any big renovations within the past years. They should be centrally owned by the government, and they should be in use for the upcoming years. So they should not change hand. After that, we are doing a project initiation agreement because we will use energy service agreements, ESAs. Actually, this is a way of energy performance contracting. So the payments will be made by the savings made in those buildings. And this is how the project pays back the loan grant by the World Bank. And then we perform a walk-through energy audit to screen the buildings and see if they are actually eligible for investment. Because we have criteria, they should be, the payback should be under 15 years with at least 30% savings, and the net present value should be positive. So we do the pre-screening of buildings, which will be included in the project, and then we form tender packages from those buildings, which, as Oteke just explained, we have performed walk-through energy audits in Tashkent, Karakalpakstan, Horezm, Fergana, and Jizza, and we will continue our walk-through audits in all regions within 5 years. And then we start the procurement process. We do the tender packages and ask for companies to bid, which this is a design-build process. That's why we invited you here today to explain you how the process works, and any questions that may arise, we will try to answer them in the afternoon, after lunch. And as I said, this is the design and construction part, commissioning, measurement, verification. This is actually how we guarantee the savings, because once the energy audit is performed and the design is prepared, construction is done, we also like to verify the savings made or promised earlier by the energy auditors, and as submitted in the measurement verification plans. This project has a project steering committee, is an interministerial committee comprising representatives from Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Economy and Finance, Ministry of Investment, Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, together with fund. So this project steering committee is established and published by the decision of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan 106, as dated on March 30, 2023. This is the composition as seen by Minister of Energy, Deputy Minister of Economy and Finance, First Deputy Minister of Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade, Deputy Minister of Health, Deputy Minister of Preschool and School Education, and the Director of Intersectoral Energy Saving Fund. As project components, actually there are 3 main components in this project. The first one is the investments in the public buildings. Second one is the technical assistance to enhance the enabling environment of EE investments, energy efficiency investments, support market development, and provide project implementation support. And the third one is contingent emergency and response component, which are as follows. The first component will actually finance energy efficiency where applicable. And so, as I said earlier, the facilities will need to meet the following criteria: central public ownership, not have extensive renovations in the past 10 years, structurally and seismically safe, and no plans for office moves, closures, building demolition and selling. This component will actually benefit approximately 500,000 users, including students, patients, teachers, doctors, nurses, and so on, and employees of the selected health and education public buildings. The second component is the technical assistance. So this will, through capacity building and technical assistance and the provision of project implementation support, activities will include institutional strengthening and market capacity building, information dissemination and communication, project implementation support, leveraging private sector participation and financing, studies and activities to support the broader implementation of energy efficiency and distributed renewable energy investments. Component 3 is contingent emergency and response component. This component will, with a provisional zero allocation, would allow a quick reallocation of resources within the total project financing envelope to boost the country's response in the event of an eligible natural crisis or emergency. I will talk to you about project performance-based conditions. This is actually how the financing works through World Bank. The project will be implemented using investment project financing with performance-based conditions. So the first one is, at least 3 eligible facility renovations have been financed from repayments under project energy service agreements to demonstrate viability of the revolving financing mechanism. Actually, in this project, we have a revolving fund called, and through the, we will renovate the buildings, and the savings will be made from EE investments, and the money coming to the fund through the savings will actually finance other buildings. So this is what we call a revolving fund. Initially, the project will be financed through the funds allocated by the World Bank, and then it will work on through the revolving fund and finance other buildings. Second one is, as I said earlier, we will form a market for energy efficiency in the private sector. So through this, we need to have 3 components defined under PBC2, which will be an energy audit regulation. Second one is building energy performance regulation. And the third one is the private sector energy service agreements. So we will have an outline for the private sector to work on the energy, how to finance EPC projects, energy performance contracting projects. And so that we will have the draft and outline for energy service, how this mechanism can work through ESCO companies, energy service companies, and the private sector buildings or industrial facilities as well. So the third one is under PBC 2.5 will be to conclude a general energy service agreement. The third one, PBC, at least 3 banks have entered into agreements with the PIE, all in manner and substance, to receive technical and financial support to enable them to provide clean energy financing for building sectors. And this third one, fourth one is evaluation of net billing scheme completed by the PIE on the installation and of operation of a rooftop solar PV panel system with net billing for 1 year at 1 facility. So I will briefly explain you how the energy service agreements work. CEBU project is expected to support clean energy investments in 800 buildings over its project's lifetime span of 5 years. So we expect to cover around 2 million square meters of buildings in Uzbekistan within this period by 800 buildings. And these target savings will be provided through energy service agreements. And the client is asked to pay what is currently paying for energy. I will show you a graph to explain this better. And then we will, its baseline energy costs from which the financier will make the new lower energy payments, recover its investment costs and associated fees from the energy cost savings. This is actually how the ESA implementation cycle works. First, we have data submission by beneficiary facility to line ministry, nomination, as I explained, the selection of buildings criteria, and then the renovation, procurement of works, goods and services, design, construction and supervision of works, measurement, verification of savings. This is a very important topic. I will talk to you about this in my next presentation. And transfer and acceptance of completed works, which can be defined as commissioning. And then the repayment cycle, which is submission of energy savings certificate to Minister of Finance, repayment through Treasury by beneficiary from cost savings, and operation and maintenance, monitoring and reporting on results. Again, with the project cycle, we look for screening and nominating by line ministries, prioritize building by technical working group for energy audits. We perform the energy audits, the walkthrough energy audits for the primary selection of buildings, then approved by the steering committee. Procurement of EE measures, which include insulation of buildings, heating and renewable energy. Contract management, acceptance of EEM's payments to contractor, transfer of assets to beneficiary, start of repayments, measurement verification of savings, reporting of savings and adjustment of repayment schedule, monitoring and reporting of payments. So here I have the baseline during ESA and after contract cycle. Here you have, actually we have 3 types of buildings. I will define them as building A, B, and C. Building A is the current building. Think about that. And then this is the building before construction. Then we have another building called building C, that is the renovated building after construction. But we have comfort levels in these buildings. So these buildings are underheated, poorly lighted, and so we have to define the current situation in building A. In building C, we will have better comfort levels. Let's say the indoor temperature will be 20-21 degrees Celsius, which in the current building it's maybe heated, underheated, as I said, to 16 degrees Celsius. We cannot benchmark those 2 buildings, so you have to define another model as B, which adjusted baseline, we call this. So you have to bring the old building to the situation of where the building will be after renovation and define it as B. And then you can benchmark those B and C, because as I said, building A and building C conditions are not the same, so you have to define model B, which will be the same conditions as after renovation. So the baseline energy costs are defined in building C as the comfort levels increased. And then we have the energy cost savings through reduced energy bills. And then the new energy bill after ESA is completed. So this is the orange part will actually be paying the investment costs back. I will talk briefly about project targets. So as I said, we have targets in the project lifetime, total as defined in megajoules. This is the SI unit. Project lifetime energy savings, fuel savings, projected electricity generation savings through renewable energy, and renewable energy generation capacity constructed under the project, which we need to reach 25 megawatts through the 5-year project life cycle. We have to also go through carbon emission, net greenhouse emissions we need to reduce, number of public buildings, as we explained, with renewable energy investments under the project, we should reach 800. We need to finance 50 buildings through the revolving fund, and private capital mobilized for clean energy investments in the building sector. Annual average of the monthly solar output, we need to reach 10% of the total energy, electricity consumption of the buildings through renewable energy. So we have the targeted number of buildings, as I said, is 800 through 2 million square meters. So the target energy savings per year is for heating 750 million kilowatts over 5 years, and electricity is 1/3 of that, 250 million kilowatt hours for 5 years. So with the system efficiency currently under current buildings, we expect to have 60% in heating and 40% in electricity production throughout Uzbekistan, including distribution and transmission losses. And total savings from natural gas will be 200 million square s-meter cube over 5 years. So with an export price of $15 per s-meter cube, standard meter cube, we expect to save $30 million over 5 years. So with a CO2 carbon dioxide emission of 410,000 tons over 5 years. Thank you for this.